Hey everyone, welcome back. So I hope you guys had a great week. Friday is upon us now. It's almost over. And the markets were actually up today. Markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Bitcoin is jumping like crazy. So we'll look at all that, what's going on there. We'll also take a look at the miners. Miners were up for the most part, except for I think 2 were down today. We'll take a look at all of that. And then what the fudge is going on with Bitcoin? It is still going up higher for reasons unknown, but I think I may have a reason why. We'll take a look at it, and it has to do with Genesis. So we'll take a look at that. We also have a news story from Digihost, power plant update. They're getting close to the final closing on it. And then we also have Greenidge, still no payment on their loans, and they're kicking the can down the road a little bit longer, but the amount is actually increasing. So they have a new agreement. We'll take a look at that, what that all means, and we'll call it a day, okay? So as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. I'm invested in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. All right, so let's take a look at the markets here. Markets were up today. S&P was up 1.89% to 3,972. Dow Jones was up 1% to 33,375. And the NASDAQ was up 2.86% to 11,619. So a great day there. Bitcoin, however, had a really good day. It was up 7.52% today to a close of 22,669. We hit a high today of 22,754. That kind of looks like possibly our resistance right now. We'll see where we end up at. And the low was 20,865. So a huge day today for Bitcoin. And if we look at some of the stories that are popping up here, one of them is, well, the surge to 22K is triggering another 250 million in liquidations. And then Bitcoin on track for 13% weekly gains as investors likely priced in Genesis bankruptcy, which the news came out late yesterday night. And then I think investors digested it, but we'll take a look at that as well. So if we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that the RSI did pump up quite nicely here, but it has come down a little bit here. We are at 77. Good thing on that one is back here, price was lower. We are higher in price, so that's a good sign there. If we look at the 1-hour chart as well, you can see here that the RSI went up way high to a high of about 91, and we are at about 87 right now. Good news on that is, well, that we are higher in price from where we were prior here as well. At that point, we were at 20,900. We are now at 22,608. So that's a good sign there. So we're still looking a little bit bullish on it, but you know, I was thinking we are going to come down in price a little bit. I was wrong on it. I'm happy to be wrong on it. We did come down a little bit, but not as much as I thought we were going to do. We topped out over here at 21,000 something. We came down all the way to 20,300 some. And I thought we would go down a little bit more, maybe retest this support line here at 19,500. That didn't happen. I'm wondering if it's going to happen or not. But I'm happy to be wrong on this. Okay. And as far as we are concerned right now, I think potentially we may retest this new support line, which is now at 21,300 roughly. We can see here that we were bouncing off of it for quite a while, trying to get above it, and then we finally did it today. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come down and test that again, especially since the RSI is pretty high on it. Now, like I said, the story on Genesis came out late last night around 10, 11 o'clock, depending on which time you look at. And if we look at it from this point, let me see here, it came out, where is it? 19th, 23. So it came out right around here. You can see price was at 21,099 roughly. We went down a little bit afterwards to 20,900 some. And then afterwards, right around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it started to go back up higher. So it looks like the investors digested it and possibly not that bad. But we'll take a look at the story anyways. Okay. So that's Bitcoin right there. Ethereum had a pretty good day as well. It was up today another 6.92%. On the day, RSI has come down lower than where it was earlier in the week, and price is higher, so that's good there. 4-hour chart, let's take a look at it. RSI has also come up quite a bit here, 274, looking a little bit overbought right now, but it is still, the price is still higher compared to where the RSI was previously at these ranges at 1,570. And on the 1-hour chart, we can see the same thing. RSI is now in the overbought territory at 85. Last time we were back here, price was lower at that point. We were at approximately 1,550. So we are about $100 higher in price. So that's a good sign there. Okay. Now, as far as the miners are concerned, miners had a pretty good day as well. Annie was up 12.51% to 44, almost 45 cents. Argo was up 0.58% to $1.73. Bit Digital was up 4.13% to $1.26. Bitfarms was up 5.5% to $1.15. CleanSpark was up 6.02% to $2.64. Cores was down 5.23% to 9 cents. Digihost was down 5.5% to $1.03. DMG was up 7.48% to 23 cents. Greenidge was up 5.29% to 92 cents. Hive was up 8.65% to $3.14. Hut 8 was up 15.66% to $1.92. Looks like they had the best day out of the bunch here. Iris Energy was up 5.88% to $1.98. Marathon was up 9.95% to $8.07. Mawson was up 4.33% to 40 cents. Riot was up 7.27% to $6.20. Soluna was up 20.78% to 50 cents, so they actually had the best day. And TerraWolf was up 5.91% to 88 cents. Okay, so that's all the miners there. Let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick, see where that's standing at. We'll refresh this. Ooh, and we are reaching new highs here on the 7 days. So we're up to 276 million right now. And let's take a look at the daily here. Daily actually went down, which is surprising that it went down to 246. I would think with the price going up in value that we would be up higher, but that's based on yesterday's numbers. So we're a day behind a little bit. So we'll see if that pops a little bit here tomorrow for today's numbers as Bitcoin has gone up in price. Okay. So that's it for the markets. Let's take a look at our first story here. The first story is on Genesis. So crypto lender Genesis files for bankruptcy in the latest blow to Barry Silbert's DCG empire, which is the digital coin group. So Genesis Trading filed for bankruptcy protection after suffering crippling losses from the collapse of FTX and hedge fund Three Arrows Capital. Genesis is part of Barry Silbert's digital currency group, which has seen mounting problems in recent months. We've talked about it a little bit here. Some of the Genesis largest clients include Circle, which operates stablecoin USD Coin, and Gemini, which is backed by the Winklevoss twins. Okay, here's the main takeaways from it. So the company listed over 100,000 creditors in a mega bankruptcy filing with aggregate liabilities ranging from $1.2 billion to $11 billion, according to bankruptcy documents. That's not good. And 3 separate petitions were filed for Genesis holding companies. In a statement, the company noted that the companies were only involved in Genesis crypto lending business. The company's derivatives and spot trading business will continue to unhindered, as well Genesis global trading. So I think the market kind of took that into account as like, that's not as bad as they thought it was going to be. So I think that's why we're having a pretty good day in Bitcoin in general. Because once I saw this come out this morning, I thought Bitcoin was going to be going down even lower, but it didn't. It actually went in the reverse, which was great. Okay. So that's it for Genesis really quick. Next, we'll take a look at Digihost really quick as well. And here's Digihost updates. So Digihost provides update on power plant acquisition. So Genesis provided an update on its previously disclosed acquisition of a 60 megawatt power plant in North Tonawanda, New York. As previously announced, the company has received all state and federal regulatory approvals required to complete the acquisition, including approval of the acquisition from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and the New York Public Services Commission. The company is finalizing closing documents with the vendors, and management anticipates that the acquisition will close within the next 30 days. So that'll be great for them. Once the acquisition is closed, the power plant will provide the company with computing capacity of approximately 1.3 exahash based upon an initial power generation run rate for the plant of approximately 50 megawatts. And that does make sense. That means that they are going to be probably running 100 terahash miners. That would get us to the 1.3. And we'll look at the numbers here in a second, which the company will be immediately able to utilize for its digital asset infrastructure, which has already been engineered and set up on property immediately adjacent to the power plant. So that's actually pretty good news. Once it's powered on, they can start getting miners in there. And the recent decline in natural gas prices, which commenced in Q3 of 2022, will contribute to lower input costs for the company's blockchain data center network. The company believes that year-round, the plant will continue to provide electrical power to the grid on demand in order to meet customer demands during extreme weather conditions, and will also continue to run the plant as a peaker plant. So as a peaker plant, if you're not aware, that's basically where other power suppliers can't generate enough electricity. They would kick on as a peaker plant to help out with at that point. The acquisition of the NT power plant is expected to bring the company's total computing power to approximately 2.0 exahash, and would add to the company's diversified portfolio of blockchain network infrastructure, including sites located in New York, Alabama, and North Carolina. So it's actually pretty good news there. So if we look at the numbers here that we have for them, if they're getting 50 megawatts, that's 0.05. That gets us to 50 megawatts at 100 terahash. We're looking at 1.3, which is what they reported here. And you can't go in with the whole amount, the 50 megawatts. You have to go in like at 80% of that. You want to leave 80%. For whatever reason it is, it's just you can't run those substations and things like that, the transformers at 100%. You have to run them at like 80% for to be able to run them for a long time. Okay, so that kind of matches up with that. They are going to be possibly around 2 exahash, like they said. So they're going to be about 75 megawatts, I believe, or so total. Let's see if we get them at 0.075. That would be pretty close to that. 75 megawatts is what they're going to be running at. That would get them to close to 2 exahash on that one. Okay, so there we have that. Next story is on Greenidge. So we talked about Greenidge a little bit earlier, I think this week, where they kicked the can from December, where they were supposed to pay 2 loans in December. They pushed that off to January now. Now they're pushing it off to further in January, another 7 days. And here's what it has to entail with. So they have 2 loans. One is with NYDIG and one is also with B. Riley Commercial Capital. Here's the interesting part of it though. So the owed payments of principal and interest in the amount of approximately $1 million due on December 25th and approximately $4.4 million due on January 10th are getting pushed out. So pursuant to the NYDIG waiver, the lender parties agreed that failure to pay the December 25th payment and the January 10th payment when due would not be an event of default if the payment were made in full by January 27th. So they got 7 more days to get this paid. So now that's totaled almost $5.4 million just in those 2 loans that they have to pay. Then for B. Riley, failure to pay approximately $1.5 million payments of principal and interest due under the BRCC note on each of December 20th and January 20th. So that's 2 of those. So that you get another $3 million there. Would not be an event of default if the payment were made in full by the earlier of January 27th, or the date that Greenidge and BRCC enter into a mutually satisfactory amendment to the BRC note addressing, among other things, future amortization requirements under the BRCC note. So it sounds like they're trying to work out a better deal or extend the loans out longer. But with what they have right now, they're behind already. Approximately was that 5.4 and another 3. So they're about 8.4 million behind on payments already, which is concerning. And I don't know what's going to happen there, whether or not they're going to be able to pull something off with the lenders and extend that out, or if they're going to go into default. And then if they go into default, that's unfortunate, obviously, but we've seen that with some of the miners already this year. Well, not this year, past year. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that one, see what happens there and how many miners would have to possibly give back. Okay. So just want to point that out to you guys. And also lastly, something I wanted to go over really quick was the miners being more profitable now in with Bitcoin mining, right? As Bitcoin price has gone up to 22,000 something, which was a surprise to me at least today, but it was a good surprise. We can see here that Bitcoin at 22,500 nets the miners approximately, for each exahash that they do have, approximately $559,000 in extra revenue per month. So if they're at 2 exahash, that's a 1.1 million added revenue, net revenue after electricity. If they got 3 exahash, it's 1.6, almost 1.7. At 4 exahash, it's 2.2 million. At 5 exahash, it's 2.79, almost 2.8 million. And at 6 exahash, that would give them another 3.3.5 million extra. So that is a substantial amount. It also helps them out as far as percentage, net profit percentage. It gets them to about 50% net profit, which is kind of what we go by on the miners when grading them, and then also looking to see if they're undervalued or overvalued where they should be. That's kind of what we use, 50% and 75%. So that's at 5 cents per kilowatt hour, which I think most of them are close to that. Some are under that. But I think anybody that's doing hosting, they are going to be probably closer to, I'm guessing here, 6.5, maybe 7 cents. And at that point, their only net profit percentage is 30% right now on those. So you can see how just a couple of pennies makes a huge difference in your profit margins going forward. Okay, so that is it. So this is really good news for Bitcoin going up for the miners. It's helping them out tremendously. And we're seeing it obviously in the stock price of the miners. I think it's going to be a great week for the miners for the most part. I think most of them are going to be up this week. And Bitcoin's going to be up this week as well, almost up 13% this week. We'll see. I track it Friday to Friday, so we'll see where it actually comes out at. But it's going to be interesting to see where Bitcoin goes over the weekend, whether or not we have a little bit of a pullback or if we continue going up higher. Like I said, I think right now, what is that going to be? Not that one. This one, that one was going to be right there. I think on Bitcoin is going to be the support line we need to hold is the 21,300 line. We'll see if we hold that. If we hold that, or if we continue going up higher, our next possible support line might be, what does it looks like? The 23,000, almost 24,000 line here. 23,800 might be our next potential target here as we look at it based on this. We have some support here at this blue line. After that, we can see here that we had a bottom here a little bit that we bottomed out. This was back in August. And then we went up higher through the middle of August. Then we fell down. So it looks like potentially our next resistance line might be around the 23,800 line somewhere around there. Okay. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. I'll post the spreadsheets to my Patreon members as always. Thank you to everyone there. And thanks so much for watching. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And if you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Subscribe. Helps me out. Bye.